Alright, let's do this. Okay, so it looks like everything should be working. I believe. Alright guys, so welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Mav. The real talent is over here, off camera. He's the cat. As everyone knows, the cat is the best thing ever at everything. And yeah, let's do some painting. So hope everyone's been all right. It's been a while since y'all have seen me actually do this on cam, and I'm kind of hitting a wall, and I'm hoping that forcing myself to get further away from the minis again is going to help get over it. Also, I'm kind of curious to see if the stuff I've learned about painting will actually carry over when I've got a camera on me. So, hey, we'll see what happens, right? So anyway, this is, of course, Luke Vol. I kind of have a paint scheme in mind for. I doubt I've got the talent to pull it off, but we're going to try it anyway. We've got some other minis that y'all might have seen on Twitter and Threads, you know, and Facebook, but they look really nice, and I'm trying to bring that or better to her. So it's time. She's one of, you know, because it's the Games Workshop Mini, all the money involved, your brain is like, man, I don't want to fuck that up, that's expensive. So we're just gonna roll right on past that, and we're just gonna put paint to her, see what happens. I've got a statue that is, or it is a small statue because it is no longer a miniature when it is yay tall, or maybe even yay tall. It's no longer a mini at that point. So I've got a mini over there, or a statue that needs to be painted, and that'll be on deck after I get Luke of all Frost back here, which I will put her on so y'all can see her. This is a really cool 3D print that I picked up on Etsy. I am super excited to paint this particular model because that is Queen Frost. I'll have her warrior self, or warrior form somewhere down the line. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet for it, and we're just going to get right into this. So, for our first color, we're probably, hey Zale, going to need, I'm probably going to need this bright purple, because this is all black anyway. So, we're going to slather on some purple down here in the dark areas. Then we're going to kind of dry brush it in over this. We're going to paint some red here. Her armor will be red, of course. I've not quite made up my mind yet for the skin. I might do something purpley for her skin. But anyway, I figured I'd do this while I'm between things. Fuck around and find out. So, further ado, let's just start slathering that on there. Not quite sure what to expect out of this paint job, but we're just kind of experimenting at this point, and don't learn unless you do sometimes. We don't do a lot with purple. And, in fact, I think you guys have seen me paint the last couple of purple minis I ever did years ago. So, yeah, we're long overdue to break out the purple again. So we're just going to go ahead and start breaking that out now. I'm reasonably confident we can get something cool out of this, though. Will it be as good as my mermaids and the satyr and some of my other works? Who knows? Or even my last Frost Wolf. But I got tired of painting with blues, so we're trying something a little different this time. the astute viewer that is familiar with, you know, painting miniatures probably is wondering why are we not using Vallejo or Citadel paint right now? And the answer is quite simple. Honestly, like, yes, the quality for those is really just fantastic. But, one, this is cheaper paint, and two, I've not even hit the ceiling yet, or even close to the ceiling of what this particular paint is capable of, so until I start feeling like my paint is a bottleneck, we are not going to worry about what type of paint I'm using as long as it is not truly crap, like what you would get out of those cheapy little pots that you get in the big shrink wrap box or shrink form box at, like, in the craft section in a grocery store or whatever. However, craft store paint, which is what this is still pretty good, so I've seen mini painters far better than I using it quite successfully. So we've kind of stuck with it over the last year and a half, 2 years, more in there, 2 or 3 years. And it's doing me well so far, I think. So we're just gonna casually keep on going down the line here. There's always the stages too where everything looks terrible, and then it all starts to come together. So you find yourself painting the mini like I am right now, and you're like, God, this is looking bad. Don't fret. Don't. Like, you'll figure it out as you go along that no matter what, you've got a stage with a model, especially if it's going to turn out half decent later, that it's going to look like shit. And you're going to be questioning some life decisions on it. Just accept it, embrace it, and move on. So we're just gonna get the perp on here. I've got a whole bunch of minis planned for the rest of the year, providing I keep on like I've been doing, and getting the Gray Legion undone. How many of the minis are Warhammer minis? Not too many, but we've got a few. I used to be a big 40k player, and enjoy playing 40k a lot. And, you know, I've got a Tau army, an Ekron army, and a Guard army. And everyone has a Space Marine force just because you just pretty much get them every edition. But now I just like buying minis that look cool, regardless of where they come from. And, 'cause cool's cool. And, most of the time that's a 3D print, or, you know, a one-off mini on someone's crafting website that they have lovingly constructed. And sometimes it's something like Luke Oval here, where just enjoy it. I've got a Ghazghkull Thraka that I'm gonna work on for you guys at some point. He's gonna be pretty cool. Don't know what I'm gonna paint him yet exactly, but I've got some ideas, and we've got some good paints for the job. We've got a bunch of Turbo Dork paints that I think are going to look fantastic on old Gaz. Some of the best metals going, in my opinion, Turbo Dork. Just, they have a tendency not to have that over metal flaky look that you get out of a lot of mini paints. So old Gaz is going to get some work at some point. And if we can make this a regular thing, I might create a diorama on stream that we can all fool around with together. I've got some supplies now for dioramas, and I used to kind of do stuff like that because I had a train set as a kid. And, you know, whatever a 9-year-old or 10-year-old with ADHD can do for a diorama or train set, pretty much what I was trying to do. Mine was a horrible abomination crossbreed between some Micro Machines Star Wars stuff, some Micro Machines science fiction stuff, Jurassic Park, and G.I. Joe. So we kind of had some eclectic things going on there for a little while when I was a kid. And honestly, it's probably what laid the foundation for this nonsense. I was doomed from the gate. Alright, and I got into D&D at like 13 or 14, and God, that was 25 years ago. Date myself there a little bit for y'all. DM'd my first campaign at, I think 13 or 14, yeah. Pretty much about the same time I got into D&D, I was actually DMing, so... We had a fun time back in the day. People always broke your train sets. Yeah. See, I broke my own. I can't remember what I did. I think what happened to mine was there was a short in the switch, and it eventually fried the locomotive. It was a pretty neat little train set. I thought it was pretty cool back in the day. I had an uncle that he's real big into trains, and he kind of introduced me to it. And, you know, between the rest of the nerddom and that, you know, I was kind of, like I said, I was doomed from the gate. You know, there was no escaping becoming a nerd at that point. But, different time back in those days, but cool nonetheless. I had a Lionel set, I think it was, and nothing fancy. It was just kind of cool to have. So here's a great example of some minis you have to paint and assemble in stages. Otherwise, you're going to have a real hard time. This is a great example of that. Like, we're having a hard time getting that leg inside here with proper coverage. So it's not going to look right if somebody looks too close after we get done with this. I'm going to have enough coats to have good coverage, but the shading and stuff is just not going to be there. Like, it's just going to have to be a fact of life. We're just going to have to deal with that for all of eternity. And the cool thing about some of these G-Dub minis, particularly the monsters and monstrous heroes or whatever, they're so much bigger that, like, when you get, like, one of these 75mm scale minis, they're actually kind of in scale with them. So you can make it's some really cool stuff that you can just visualize and pose up together. Alright, so let's get some more of that purple back out. We're gonna need it. So, you know what? So, some of this stuff, like, you know, this old deco art here, it's bad about reactivating if you go too early. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and switch gears here. I'm going to get the red, which in this case is just a good old crimson hue, alizarin or alizarin, just a Liquitex basics. Like I said, we don't need anything too fancy. start making things look good. You just got to make sure you thin it enough. And honestly, that's the biggie. And that's really kind of what separates this stuff from Vallejo and G-Dubs is you've got to mix it yourself. And even G-Dub paint, especially G-Dub paint, Vallejo is not as bad about it, but G-Dub paint needs water too. They don't like to admit that part, but it needs water too. If it's paint, they need water. Good rule of thumb. Even really fancy shit needs a little bit of love. Now, contrast paint, yeah, you can go straight onto it. We may have added a little too much paint back into this, but we'll find out in a minute. Yeah, I don't like that. That's a little too much. And sometimes it takes you a minute. Like, don't rush. You want it to be kind of watery-ish. Like, you just want it to just drip back down your paint palette. Or whatever you're using as a paint palette. You don't have to use paint palette, so don't freak out if you don't have one. Just, you know, get a piece of fucking cardboard or something and just put some paint on it. I've got a nice little paint palette that a friend got for me, and she's awesome like that. Remember, a good rule of thumb, you're going to want at least like 3 different colors on the model when you're done, at least. Because you usually have like 3 or 4 things that you're trying to draw attention to on the Mini, right? And as you can see, do not be afraid of leaving something like that on there. Like, it's going to look bad, yes, right now. This is that stage I was telling you all about earlier where it looks like shit. Don't fucking freak out. It's just gonna look like shit for a minute. It's fine. It's fine. I still gotta tell myself that sometimes. But yeah, we're just kind of painting around here. Yes, this is Strongbow's Gold Apple. They've not had it in probably about 3 years. Somewhere in 3 years. So the fact that they had it now really made me excited. So I had to buy the kitty's food anyway. AKA the real streamer. What everyone wants to see is the cat. She's just sitting like a little lady back there behind me. Her eyes are closed, but she's just jamming out to the music over there. She's just vibing. I'll put her on cam here in a little bit. She's still back there when I look. Yeah, we're totally in the it's gonna look like shit stage. So. Also, don't be afraid to chuck your brushes when it's time. Like, I actually brought out a couple of older brushes when I was over at a buddy's, and I was painting over there. And I'm like, man, it's starting to look like shit. What am I doing wrong? And I kind of just grabbed a different brush on accident that was similar in size. And the paint was so much easier to control and move around. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing now. I forgot. We're at that stage now with some of these brushes of mine. They're older. Much like me, getting old. I need to be thrown out. But yeah, we're gonna try this kind of purple and red themed Mini here. Just trying to get a nice start on this here. And at this stage, I'm not too worried about whether I've got things neat and tidy, or just trying to get the colors on right. because the experiment we're trying tonight is where this overlap is, I'm just going to try to blend it a little bit later on. Where the red and purple are going to actually kind of meet and start blending. So going over might not kill us here. Apparently we have an ad coming up, but that's at 20 minutes. A little over 20 minutes. I still got to readjust all that, so once I figure out how to redo all of that again, because Twitch changed it on their own. I had it set up for like every 45 minutes it was going to be an ad break, but apparently Twitch decided otherwise, so I'll see you all soon. And y'all are going to pay for my gas money a little bit. Paint. I need more paint. I'm actually starting to run out of red. So on that bombshell, I'll see you all in probably about a minute and a half or so. I don't know for sure. You know what? This is going to turn out good. Okay, ad break. Actually, the blending is going way better than I thought it would. Damn. Okay. Let's add a little, just a smidge more water. Don't worry, all the real star is doing her thing back there. Yes, little girl. I see you. You're good babies. 60 seconds. We'll be back. Yeah, this is gonna turn out real pretty. We're done here. You a lady cat today? You are. Little lady cats. Yes, you are. You're a good girl. Pretty. Yes, you are. You're a good girl. Yeah. Are you helping me? Are you painting? You a painting cat? Oh. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Talking to the little girl down there, the painting cat. Kind of surprised she hasn't jumped up here to bother us, honestly, but gotten a little better about that over the last. The first year, you know, she's constantly up in our business, trying to figure out what we're doing. Kind of knows. Best cat. Spoiled absolutely rotten, though. Absolutely. I am not the least bit repentant about it either. She had a rough life before she got here. And you can tell, like, the way she acts. She had it rough. So, she gets to be a little princess now. So, what we're doing here is, we're just kind of slowly phasing that red inward. Y'all can kind of see there's some blend lining going on now already. Just to sort of really make the mini start to already show some depth. I should probably tell peeps in the Discord we're live, huh? Probably not a terrible idea. Y'all are the ones that put up with my craziness on a regular basis, after all. Hey, sweet girl. Yes. And we are go. So, now, get back to it. So, here's a spot we kind of missed. I said, you know, your first couple of coats, they're just mostly there for getting coverage. We're not setting any records tonight. We're not, you know, speed painting to get something on a table. We're not, you know. Part of the reason I branched way out from the hobby for 40K was, like, you know, you end up having to paint like 150 guardsmen, for example, for a mild infantry list. And then you get that pressure, or you got to get it done since you can actually, you know, field them and not be completely embarrassed. And it kind of took the fun out of it for me. So I kind of figured out that I would rather, I want to get better. And, you know, assembly line painting a bunch of guardsmen on some plastic is, it's a good way to learn the basics of brush control, I guess, but it's not enough to teach you anything. So it just kind of burned me out. That and, you know, one color scheme over, you know, dozens of models. It'll get old real fast. You do them all at once. Which is what I was doing, like a fool. And, we addressed that problem later on. We're kind of going for this, like, bloody sort of vampire and vampire demon, essentially. Obviously, it's Luke of all, but, you know, we are allowed to paint them however we want. And subsequently use them for whatever we want. I intend on using this at some point in a D&D campaign of some sort, or a Savage Worlds campaign, I should say, because it's kind of looking like the direction that we're going to be going for our tabletop RPG group. So, at least when I'm running the shows. So, we're all going to be learning that here soon, and I look forward to doing that on cam with y'all. Tales of Moonlight Fantasy will be the first starter for that. Just because it's not a completely It's not a completely hard set story, it's more of a theme. So, with some recurring characters, aka the player characters, and some of the NPCs. So, I'm looking forward to inflicting that on them. And, looking forward to y'all being there to see it. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. D&D just, they pulled too many stupids in a row, and I can never trust them again. And frankly, their next edition doesn't look that good anyway. So why do that to yourself? I think Tex, yeah, I think it was Tex that said it best. If you find yourself justifying why you like something, do you really like it? And that's where D&D and I, particularly D&D and I, got to be at. Found myself having to, well, do you want to justify this, or do you actually enjoy it? That was some pretty wise words on Tex's part. He applied it to something else entirely, but it stuck with me. Mr. Tex from the Black Pants Legion, if you ever stumble upon this, just know my chicanery is partly your fault. You did this, sir. Incidentally, it's why I got out of 40K and went into Battletech, because I loved the Mech Warrior games as a kid, and 40K just, man, that shit got too expensive. Way too expensive. I can't in good conscience ever recommend anyone play that shit, because damn, son. Collect the models, use them for D&D, but don't worry about them as a game, because damn, you will, your man can go poor really quickly playing Warhammer. We're going to get the purple out again here really shortly. We're just kind of getting some red on here, just to kind of start getting it on there. Start moving that paint around a little bit better. Okay. We're going to set that over here. We're going to wash the brush with our brush washer. And we're going to get this purple back out we were starting on. Don't know how well y'all can see her right now, but let's up the lighting a little bit for y'all. Let's see if that'll help. Woo! That's a little too bright. Damn. Kind of helped a little bit, but not much. Alright, so alright, into the brush rinser. These things are kind of handy. As you see mine, I'm going to have to start cleaning the surface layer off here in a little bit. But we're just getting all the red off, just so that we don't cross-color contaminate too much. That's going to happen on the Mini. We don't need it to happen in the painting, applying the paint stage. We want that to happen in the Mini. Yeah, the moment it becomes work. Yep. And that's part of the reason too we took a break from paint streaming for a while there, was I had some anxiety. A lot of things come up in my life that really kind of put me in a bad headspace, so I really wasn't fit to be on a camera. Y'all probably would not have appreciated it very much. So I was just mentally way too stressed out to do streaming, so we still don't really stream as often as we should, but, you know, life happens. D&D is a game, and streaming is not my primary source of income, so I'm not exactly sweating it. It's something I do for fun. In this case, it's also a good way to document where my skill sets have gone, and I can see when I screw something up. It's not going to be if. We are going to screw something up in this mini tonight, guys. I'm sorry. It's a fact of life. If you want Golden Demon painting, I am definitely not your guy, but if you want to learn with me and get some mistakes along the way, then I am definitely your guy. If you see me do something wrong, tell me, or don't do it yourself when you decide to paint your own Luke of All. You know? Or hell, do it if you know, you're feeling crazy and you just want to screw off. I ain't gonna judge you. You're not hurting anybody, I ain't gonna judge you. Well, if you want your Luke of All here to be making out with your Space Marine Chapter Master, go for it. Who am I to damn stop you? The guy that, you know, is already gnashing his teeth at the mere thought that Space Marine would smash Luke of All, buddy, I don't care. I do not care. Do not even start typing. I'm just gonna make the headcanon all the stronger. It'll go from a joke to something I will be saying for a long time after. Life's hard enough. Don't need to take it harder than you do your dick. So we're just kind of getting some paint on the model right now. Very early going yet. We don't really know where the paint scheme is going. We just kind of have a vague idea at this stage. So I saw an extremely well painted version of this mini on eBay, and my initial thought was, let's try to replicate her one for one, right? And one, I don't have the talent, and I recognize that I do not. I don't have the amount of hours in yet to hit that level of detail. But, moreover, as you start to paint stuff, like even if you're just trying to recreate box art for a model, or a real-life version of the Mini. Like, let's say you've got like an Israeli Merkava, or a M1 Abrams, or a Russian T-34, or a Panzer, or whatever, right? A real live tank, right? And even if you go to recreate that, you're going to deviate. Somewhere along the line, you're going to deviate. So what I decided was, well, I know this color combination works well, but let's just do something with this color combination rather than trying to replicate it. One, I'm going to fall short and then I'll be disappointed, and then I'll have to strip the model and start all over. And two, I want it to be mine. This is my Luke of All. It's not, you know, I'm not painting it for somebody else. And I'm making her essentially a vampire demon, or a vampire who has nommed on too many demons and become demonic herself. So we can kind of take something based off that color scheme which in their case is this extremely beautiful red and purple, orange, and pinkish model. And they did a really good job with it. But I liked the red and purple combo, so, or at least that's what came to my mind, was a red and purple thing that we could do. And so we're just going to try it. And what we're attempting to learn here tonight, or with this model in general, because this is not getting done tonight. We are going to be at this one for a while. We're just going to kind of learn a little bit about blending. And red and purple is a really easy combo to blend. At least certainly in like colored pencils. So I'm going to assume it's going to translate over to this. Different medium and all, but we're going to assume. So we're just going to do that. Yes, the real painter's here. Have food. Little mooch. I don't have any food. So yeah, just make it your own. Like I said, I've got ideas for this, and when we start doing drawing things again, and we all start drawing together, I'm probably going to draw something kind of based off of this. Obviously, it's not going to look nearly as cool as the model does, but you will pretty much know right away because you will see the color scheme be very similar. You'll know exactly what I was recreating when we get to the sketches. I've got the whole arc in mind. I've got the whole paint scheme in mind. And I am looking forward to inflicting it upon my poor and unsuspecting players. They will know fear, no pain, no death. But yeah, we've totally got something in mind with her now. What, sweetie? Hey. Talking an awful lot down there. I don't know if y'all can hear or not, but cause I got the noise gate and all that, but she is full on eeping and everything down. She is convinced I'm going to give her food, which, you know, in about 2 hours I probably will. Yeah, she is a vampire that has nommed one too many demons. That is our backstory for our model here. Because, like I said, I'm probably never going to play Age of Sigmar or Old World or Warhammer ever again, so I get to use these minis as I see fit. Vampire demon. Or demonic vampire, I should say. Demon vampire. Demonic vampire. That's what we're going with. I think it's going to be fun. So, you gotta have some fun with your stuff, guys. As you can see, like there, like we're trying to mute the red a little bit. Just kind of add that purple back into it. In a couple of spots, just to start that blend line a little bit. I should move y'all to the other screen, or rather move slobs so that it's a little further over to the other side. So give me just a second. There we go. Now I can say I can see y'all completely without the camera being in the way. So I'll be able to read y'all a little bit easier. I won't have to be looking like this to get around to see y'all. Yeah, this is be a lot of fun tonight. Y'all You'll probably see me go on a rant here after Sunday, because I got a bad feeling now about the Panthers. So, y'all are on my Twitter feed at all. I'm so sorry for what's about to happen, because I think our general manager is now on fraud watch. That man is not paying our best defensive player. That's all I'm going to say about that till Sunday. Get rid of Matt Rule and still have a fraud at GM. Yeah, that sounds about like my luck. Alright, so as you guys can see, like, the purple is starting to come in now. Like, it is definitively there now. We're just slathering it on at the edges that we can't really hit adequately. Because again, I should have painted this before full assembling it. So when we get to the Great Toad in my pile of shame, we will most certainly be doing some sub-assembling. And then we'll just super glue parts of it together after we are done painting them. Because the plastic, or the polystyrene will no longer work once it is trying to adhere to a painted surface. So we'll have to use the super glue. Fortunately, I might as well have stock and Loctite, because I use that shit on everything. Yep, there was a paint bubble there. I knew it. So we're just gonna feather a little bit more. No. No. Don't get any food yet. What? What? No, I don't think they did. I do not think they did. I think most of them went away, but I think we're going to have a really big one here real soon. The cheapness is reemerging, and of not being willing to pay talent. So I've got a very strong feeling we're going to be dumpster diving again. Don't get me wrong, Matt Rule is straight hot garbage, but Fraud Watch has not quite left yet. Fortunately, many more skilled people than I on Twitter are going to put them on a pack, as the kids like to say. I'll pack them right up. This guy turns out to be a fraud too. Of course, I'll be helping the packing. Will you stop? Go play. Go play. Good Lord. First time I've had a paintbrush in my hand in like 2 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. What? What? I might feed you. I might feed you if it'll make you stop. But I don't think it will. I think you just want attention. Yes. Yeah, that's the real streamer there. I know it. Everybody knows it. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go give her some food that she's going to promptly ignore, and then I'll be right back. How about that? So let me hit buttons. Wait. Okay, that's not the one I wanted. Thing. Not it. The intro screen. I know I had one. Alright, y'all. I'll just be right back. Find my stuff. cat's on fraud watch, too. Alright. Pack the cat, get it, gentlemen. Alright. She'll be back in about like 5 minutes. Because it's not her cooked chicken. I gave her dry food and she's not going to be happy about that, but tough. Damn it, tough. Something else we're going to be painting soon is I've got these 2 really kick-ass samurai busts. One of them's going to go out to one of my friends, and it's one of her characters. We're going to have some fun painting that. Y'all are going to enjoy that, I think. And we'll paint some Battletech, too, soon. Like, if we can make a habit of doing this on camera again, we'll paint some shit on camera for y'all, and y'all will get to see some robots being painted. That's kind of where we're at now. Like, y'all might see me back. I'm kind of needing to get out of my own head. Like, I've been in it long enough now that I just need to talk into the void for a while. So, I'd say I apologize in advance for that, but, I don't know why y'all clicked it, but here y'all are. Like I said, we're not at the point yet where we're really trying to get the details perfect. We're just ensuring that we have some decent coverage for when we come back with the red. So what we're going to do now... You're 80% of your chair? Why am I calling you? Just text me, you dumbass. Oh my god. I am not doing this right now. I have yet to have a moment where a please call me has ever been an actual phone call. Swear to fucking God. 5 minutes at Independence. Alright guys, I'm gonna go on mute. I'll be right back. Okay, that was at least entertaining. So, one of my former minions, that, the Too Long Don't Read version, I'm trying to move y'all around a little bit. The TLDR version of the story is, he basically screwed up epically, got himself canned, and, so he's got no job. And, he's taken his family somewhere, and he could have gotten in for free, right? And nobody really would have thought much about it, whatever. But so his dumb ass opens his mouth and says, "Well, I don't work here no more." So now they have to pay $50 to get in. And the reason this is bad is this man still does not have a job. Okay, he stuck his hand in the proverbial wood chipper, pushed the button, got himself canned, has no income, and he just blew $50 over something that will only keep them entertained for about 2 hours. That is the TLDR version, and yeah, just wow, man, just wow. Anyway, that's probably more entertaining to me because I have more of the context for that story than y'all, but yeah, just wow, man. I've learned a lot in the last 3 years, and yet somehow the depths of stupidity continue to amaze me. I don't even know why that they went out. As you guys can see, we are adding the red back in here. Going decently well. Gonna take us a hot everything where we want it before I can start the blending again. I am digging this model, though. This is an absolute beautiful model. As irritating as Games Workshop's prices are, for Age of Sigmar at least. Now, their 40K line, it's not as true with, but their AOS minis, man, they are so imaginative. Like, 40K desperately at this point needs a shake-up so that they can get a little bit more creative. But man, their Age of Sigmar stuff is so gorgeous to paint and work on. Okay, so now we're going to start on the upper webbing again. Oh. Alright, so we're kind of doing this red, kind of start these transitions and blends, and they look really boss when we're done. Anyway, the lesson of that story is if you're gonna fuck up like that. If we're gonna do it, afterwards, do the smart thing. Don't make your family's lives even harder by blowing money you don't need to blow. You've pretty much got that back under control. Feather in this purple a little bit along these edges here. Just a little bit to start. So far, I'm really happy with where this mini's going. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do stuff with the cheaper paints. Like I said, this stuff has a way higher ceiling than I do. If you're just starting out and you don't have any brush control or whatever, man, you're going to be learning shit anyway. So you might as well start cheap and work your way up. That's my 2 cents on painting, learning how to paint anyway. This one's actually going to be a lot harder on this side to do because of where her arm is. We are going to try, by God. So we're going to get a different brush. One with a bit thinner of a tip. Just so we have a little bit more control. And I'm also going to add a little bit more red back into my palette here. Just because it's getting a little runny in there. Okay. Your alright. Should be just thin enough now, but still pliant or rigid enough. Yes, leave her alone. Oh, go away. Fine. Like she's talking about overspray. You want spray paint in the kitchen or something? Alright, so as you can see, this is really, really hard. You guys might not get to see a lot of the inside of this, so forgive me. Nice thing about red is it's got a really strong pigment too. Yeah, y'all are gonna see a lot of extra working on this. If we can, you know, summon up the will, try to get a few streams out of her. And don't freak out if it takes you a long time to paint a mini. Paint it well. Or part of the reason too that we originally started the paint streams was it guaranteed that would slow down a little bit and start working on the actual process and doing things the right way. I mean, there's some obvious reasons why, you know. One, you want to get better so people will actually watch you. And two, it kind of gives you in perspective. If you're not spending long enough on your models, kind of find out real fast, in my opinion. The reason why I was really starting these was so I could get better. I was going too fast. Like, I could assembly line guard paint and, like, you know, slather a whole bunch of stuff on like 100 dudes in about, I don't know, 6 hours. And it would look accordingly. Like, it would look like one of those horrible pre-painted D&D minis at best. So I was like, oh, that looks terrible. Like, assembly line painting has its place, but if you actually want to get better, you don't want to be doing it. That's why I say when I paint, I don't paint armies anymore. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Had to read something. Okay. Decent start. Now we can come back through. Where we gotta get enough of it on here. Kind of keep the color theme together. where I saw fuckers. Life in the South, right? These Southerners live winter because there's no bugs. They're all dead. That's why. Seriously, that's exactly it. Most of us love winter because there's no fucking bugs. When are we going to do the wash? Yep, probably not doing it tonight. That is just about getting some coverage and going from there. Okay. Cut that off here. Driving me nuts too, I see. We'll be gone soon. Okay. Just a second, guys. I gotta pull this away from you. If there's a better way to do this angle, I don't know it, so we're just doing it the way that I think I can pull it off, and then I'll let y'all see kind of where we're at. So we are way in here trying to get paint in there. That's what we're fighting right now. Give me just a minute. Sub-assembly. It's a thing, chat. I should have done it. inside of that tail we'll have to do purple. One of the things I really like about this model, how gorgeous sculpts are. Just the way every one of these pieces just kind of flows together is really impressive. We haven't even washed this thing, and already I'm like, wow. Some models are just a joy to paint. Others are a pain to paint. This is definitely a joy so far. More Strongbow here. Holy shit. Alright. Now we're going to start the blends backside. Be a little hard, but that's okay. Okay. Y'all can see we're starting to get the blending in here. As it dries, it will feather itself out naturally. Okay. So you guys can kind of see where the blending is on the underside, but we're going to have a harder time on this end. Let's start hard part. Add a little bit more water. The red is starting to dry out again. Yeah, don't hesitate to reactivate your paints and or thin them. Now you've got a paint that likes to reactivate, and use that to your advantage. What we're trying to do here. So if this loves to get to the lively side of things, just doing that. Spread that a bit. Side. Just kind of adding some red here and there into the purple now. Spread that look out. Looks thing going. Still wet. Here as we blend. I believe so, yeah. It's a really nice piece to work on. There's a lot of little details. When we get to the cathedral alone, like, that's going to be a challenge for other reasons. Okay. That. He's been a really fun one to paint so far, guys. I am really enjoying the hell out of this. Head. This. Got to put our music back on, so give me just a second. Why wouldn't I be? I'll tell you when I'm not watching anymore. YouTube in their attempt to save bandwidth. Like one of the most rich companies on the friggin' planet. I think you can afford my bandwidth. Alright, so let's get this purple back out where I need it. Lost some vibrancy in that purple, so we're gonna fix that. Where's my purple? There it is. I think this is it. Deco. What in this one? The hell? No, it ain't this. Little shucker. Exactly where it went. Alright. Oh, we'll add our water in now. Re-stir that sumbitch on up. Dab a little bit right quick. Just trying to bring that purple back up a little bit. A couple of spots. Don't have to do the whole thing, just enough. Now we gotta do this side. I have quite enough purple to start with, but we're gonna fix that. Okay. Well, there. Like I said, the whole point of that is we're just kind of bringing back the color on a couple of the pieces so that it looks like it's got a little bit more contrast with itself. Because we're getting a little too much red under there versus the purple. A little bit out here wouldn't hurt either, so we're just gonna quick do that. More pigment on the brush. You can kind of see the difference that makes when we do that. Now when we dry, it's gonna come out a little bit less dramatic. So keep that in mind. You're probably going to have to do a couple of layers, which we will probably have to do as well. Don't think you're done just because you got one in, or if you've gone too far, like for example, you didn't want it to look so dramatic. Don't worry, it's going to mute itself a little bit when it dries. That is perfectly natural. Alright, so see how the bottoms did that I added that back into. See what I mean? It's a little bit more understated. It's not quite as dramatic. So then you just take spots that are a hair too dark still, and that's where you brush your next pieces on. At least that's the theory that we're going with for now. Said we do not really know what we're doing. We're kind of learning as we go. If you are going to use this as part of your Warhammer army too, the bigger models, you know, make those your centerpieces. So by all means, you want more effort in these guys. Plus, what you learn here will translate over to the little guys. So like, you know, do stuff. Don't get scared of it. Guy I watch on YouTube, he actually recommends you start with your centerpieces and then you work your way down to the normal dudes, because usually happens for him at least, and it does a little bit for me, is your centerpiece kind of will dictate the theme for the rest, right? So that's what he uses his centerpieces for. He starts with his, and then makes his way in, down. And I get the logic. Plus, it encourages you to actually try painting the more fancier models. It keeps you from being intimidated as easily. Totally get the logic. Completely sound logic. I think it's good advice. I should follow it more often. Like I said, you can kind of tell where we're blending this in just a little bit better. Okay, let's bring give that just a second to dry here and give my fingers a chance to stretch out and my back a chance to rest, because we're leaning a little bit forward and in an awkward spot. It's a bad thing about working with the camera, guys. Your camera's in a fixed spot, and of course you are limited by the real estate that you have to start painting on if you are stream painting. You know, when I'm doing stuff on my own, I can bring the Mini up and back. You know, I don't have to be as forward and centered as I am when I am with you guys. Like I said, and I might have brought this a hair too far down here. So we might, we're gonna dry brush red back on here. We're gonna do that just a little. Just real thin. Just gonna put that red here. Just a little bit of it. How much? Just enough, right? There it goes. That's better. Alright, so anywhere else that we've messed up like that, we can just reapply as needed, which honestly looked like it was mostly on this, so we're okay. Feather, very slow. Okay. Goes. We're going to a little bit more of that red down here. So, get there, there, very low. Adding some red here and there, very carefully. Don't want to mess up too much. All right, that. Gonna blend in really well. So, also a blending for dummies tip that I've learned here tonight is you pick colors that are soft together, or complementary, I think is what they're called. They go together really nice and easy. Not a lot of work to change it over. Alright. Freaking brush. There it is. Pretty sure that's the one we had earlier. Alright, so let's out. Work on that. So y'all don't heard of it. I have to input colors on. Well, if we wanted to make her Christmassy, I would have. Could have gone red and green on this sucker if I wanted. I wouldn't have thought twice about it. Depends on what you're going for. One thing I do like about purple and really strong pigment. Really good job even over black primer. I'm not a black primer guy usually. It gets way too hard to work with, especially on bright colors, which y'all know me, I'm pretty fond of. Sometimes you just gotta paint something a little dark and easy. Oh, I am having a ton of fun painting this. I can fix her, chat. She eats demons for funsies, but I can fix her. Alright, so that's correct. So we're back under the wings. Blend these colors together and just throw them both around. Head back. Do it. Paint it on. Remember, it likes to reactivate a little bit, so we're trying to use that as best as we can, right? You see the guy kind of made that other color there? And I'm not too worried because it is going to dry a little bit different. Mix it right in. Work on that. A little bit better blended, doesn't it, guys? That. Just a hair. And this one's going to be hard, but that's okay. Things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Just adding the perps back in under the wing here. So it'll look right. Alright. So far, anyway, look where we're at. Let's take a second. So every once in a while, guys, just take your grubby meats away from the brush and the Mini. Kind of look at what you've done. It can get real easy to get lost, at least for me. It's real easy to get lost in what you're doing. And I see some stuff we got to touch up on the sword, but that's fine. We used the wrong silver anyway on her blade, so that's all fine. We're just gonna fix that later. Alright, so we're gonna get that bigger brush out right quick. Honestly, it makes better blends than this one does, so we're just gonna do here is casually get the bigger, the not quite big brush TM. Feather some stuff a little bit. Kind of feather. I saw some things we weren't quite happy with. Work on addressing. Kind of see. Quite match the perp anymore. Perps don't line up. Have our purples not match. Flip that over. That's part of the reason why I say sometimes you just gotta take your hands away from it for a second. I'm not happy with that color. We're gonna let that dry just for a second. We're gonna make sure we didn't screw up top. We had a really nice transition and blend going here up top. We're gonna go work on this right quick. We know it's there. We know we're happy-ish down here at the tail so far. It needs more color. Yeah, that's drying way better. Alright. We've pretty much saved the underside now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna feather this a little bit more purple. We screwed up, gone into the red. I'm going to correct that in just a second. We just want to make sure that the purple is in fact purple at the edge. And then we're going to fix that red spot. Let's get our more detail-friendly brush here right quick. We're just going to go right to where that spot is that I know is Hubert. Okay. It could take some work. Sometimes it takes you a bit. Yeah, we've done a pretty good chunk tonight. Like, we're not even close to being done or anything. We've made enough of a dent in it. I'm getting pretty pleased with where this direction is. Purple in that. Pull it. Move it around a little bit. Right. And then that's going to dry a little bit more muted. Be fine. Alright, so we usually call it good at right about the 2-hour mark. I don't see any reason why not, because human attention span naturally wants to drift at 3. And I have ADHD, so, you know, that can go anywhere from a hyper-focus of 6 to 12 hours to, you know, 2 hours, and my brain is like, woo, or less. So we're going to go ahead and just take the Av and call it there for the night. Also, guys, do not forget to pack up your shit properly. When you get done, wash your brushes, so we're going to do that right quick. In this brush's case, we're going to put the tip guard back on because it's a really fine brush. So don't forget to put your toys away, guys. It's a very important step of the evening. So we're going to do that, and we'll call it good after that. So we're doing pretty good with this Mother of Monsters, and I'm looking forward to seeing how she turns out the rest of the way. I personally think this is going to be a really fun mini to finish. Now that we're started on it, I've been nervous about painting this thing for literally years now, because I didn't know what I needed to do with her, and it just kind of hit me as I was looking around, and I'm like, you know, that's a pretty good scheme, but I think I can do something of my own that's kind of based off of it. So seems to be where we're going with it. So we're gonna call her there, and we're gonna shoot for coming back soon. I'm hoping we'll be able to do some stuff Sunday with Starfinder, and that should be a lot of fun. They'll get a little bit further in, and working towards the end of the actual, you know, system of Starfinder itself for now, and then we'll have a session 0 for Moonlight Fantasy, and we're gonna have a fun time learning how to play all that, I'm sure. But I'll see.